Grizzlies and the Thunder. This is what playoff basketball is all about. The Thunder trailed by as many as 29 points in this game, but outscored the Grizzlies 63-31 in the second half to walk away with the largest comeback in OKC playoff history. Hey everybody, welcome back inside of FedEx Forum and into Thunder Live. I'm Paris Lawson, sitting next to the Thunder's very own Royce Young. And there's so many things that we could talk about in this game. But Royce, I want to start with the hustle, the fight, and then the endurance by the Thunder that we saw in the second half.
Amazing. I mean, I was watching this Thunder fan standing over here. I mean, we're many minutes since the final horn, and he's just been standing over there. He's been shaking his head, just randomly clapping. And I think that's kind of how all of us feel right now.
Like, wow.
It's like, wow, that was something else.
Right?
And it took a lot of things to kind of break the Thunder's way. A lot of things. The defense in the second half was absolutely outrageous. Outscored the Grizzlies 63-31 in that second half. And really, you know, there's so many moments I feel like we could go through this game and say, well, that was kind of the moment, or that one was kind of it. I do think that, and I just told you at Paris, I think Chet's three right out of halftime, I think it cut the lead to like 24 or something like that. But it
was
felt,
the spark.
It felt big. It just felt like that's what the Thunder needed to do. They needed to hit that shot, and then they got to stop right after it. And then you could just kind of feel it. It wasn't like this avalanche and one of those kind of just wave runs where the Thunder are just hammering Memphis. It was just methodical. Just a little 6-2 spurt, a little 7-3, a little 6-2. They just did it throughout the second half. Just an incredible second half comeback.
Well, this is what we've seen from the Thunder throughout the course of the regular season. Weathering storms. This team is so good at that. And to the Thunder's credit, this was a hurricane from the Memphis Grizzlies here tonight, coming out really strong. And the Thunder knew that Memphis was going to throw a punch in this game. Their backs are kind of against the wall. They're in their home arena. They're feeling really comfortable. And they found some rhythm. A lot of the guys that hadn't gotten going so far in this series finally caught a little bit of a rhythm, and the Thunder, to their credit, remained poised, calm, and just did what they do.
Defensive clutch plays from this series.
I mean, the one where he dove on the floor for the loose ball, got the timeout. Electric for Oklahoma City in this game. All right, we could talk for hours, but before we do that, let's bring in Chris Fisher and Michael Cage, the voices on tonight's call, and I got to get their perspective on this 29-point comeback victory.
Yeah, thank you, Paris. I'm glad that you and Royce took over there just so that Michael and I could catch our breath from that thrilling second half, the biggest playoff comeback in OKC history. And Michael, I want to go back to the point of the game when there was that flagrant one that got upgraded by the officials with the sort of the kick on Isaiah Hartenstein from Scottie Pippen Jr., because that's where it started to seem like the Thunder were able to capitalize on that possession. They got the free throws. They ended up having a big one, and that's when they started to climb back in it. And the way that they played offensively in the third quarter and then defensively in the fourth quarter, so many things had to go right, and ultimately they were able to get over the top and complete the comeback.
Well, first of all, you know, you just don't see a game like this. As Paris just pointed out, down 29 points, you don't hang your head down. You're down 26 at halftime. But I was watching the guys' body language at halftime. You know, they were out there talking, okay, we got plenty of time. We got 24 minutes to right the ship. And they did just that. They did it with defense. They did it with three-point shot making. They did it with guys stepping up. You talk about a total team effort tonight that was really, you don't see that often in playoff basketball where there's not that many possessions. The Thunder made it that many possessions with their defense. You just heard Royce talk about Alex Caruso's defense, Case and Wallace defense. You brought up a really, I thought, turning play for the Thunder with Hartenstein taking that flagrant one, knocking down both free throws, and you could just sense that the Thunder were slowly cutting into it. And then when you look at the stat sheets, folks, there's some crazy numbers here. They had a 36-point third quarter. They got 10 steals. Already, this is back to business of what the Thunder have been doing all season long to be one of the top-ranked defenses. And they only had 51 points at halftime. 51. They finished with 114 points. It's just a team that's really done this all season. That's why they had 68 victories, because they never hang their head down, and they always think they got a chance to win the basketball game. And they did just that tonight here in downtown Memphis.
Yeah, just another reminder, it does not matter. You might be down by 29 points, but if you dig in, you got a little bit of time, you can complete that comeback. And a lot of things had to go right tonight for Oklahoma City, but they stuck together. Tough environment on the road. To do that on the road is even more impressive with this Memphis team that desperately needed a win down 2-0.
Yeah, great stuff by the Thunder here tonight. So impressive on so many different levels, as you guys so eloquently pointed out. Chris and Mike, thank you so much, as always. We appreciate it. Now, for those of you that might have tuned in a little bit late to this game, we forgive you, first of all, but this was a tale of two halves, truly. The Thunder, in the first half of this game belonged to the Memphis Grizzlies wholeheartedly. But then, coming out of halftime, there was a...
They kind of put the game away, but again, just 31 points for Memphis in that second half, and it was kind of back to what they struggled with in games 1 and 2, where a lot of their possessions stretched out. What they did great, and this was a lot of the conversation coming into it, in that first half, they played with a ton of pace.
Yep. And
that wasn't just transition basketball, but that was first action stuff. When they got their first open look, they were taking that shot, and they were, to their credit, knocking them down. And as the game tightened in the second half, of course, the absence of Ja Morant, I'm sure, had something to do with it, but they started passing up on some of those looks.
Right.
Their offense slowed down, and it let the Thunder's defense really dig its claws in.
And they just started to get really disjointed, which led to guys who were making a lot of threes in the first half not really finding the same rhythm. Guys like Scottie Pippen Jr. and Luke Kennard not being able to connect on those threes in the second half of this game. But we talked about a guy who had a really big impact on this one. Alex Caruso finished with 4 steals in this game. But even if he didn't have a single steal, Royce, I think his ability to just completely muck up the game, whether that's get a deflection, he had 10 coming into this game, he might have doubled it in this game by himself, but just his activity all over the floor is so impressive.
If you're wondering at home, that's not a motorcycle firing up around us right now. They're pulling up like the like playoff logo stuff off the court. So it's distracting me too. I'm sure you can hear it. But anyway, to your point, Paris, AC, like as he did, and we talked about this in the pregame show, of just his ability to just disrupt possessions, but with ball denial, simple things. Of course, the loud stuff, the deflections, the steals, that's the type of stuff that you can really notice. But like he switched on to Jaren Jackson a number of different times and just denied him a post-entry pass, or even beyond that, it just took him an extra 3 or 4 seconds to get that post-entry pass in cleanly to Jaren Jackson.
Right.
So those little things tally up and really make a big difference in how you stack your defensive stops.
Well, while they continue to tear up the floor here in Memphis, we're going to go over to the press room and hear from Thunder head coach Mark Daigneault postgame.
Goes from your course tonight to overcome what you overcame to do today. Yeah, we know we're going to get tested in a lot of different ways, and we certainly get tested tonight. And I just thought at halftime, we kind of reconnected to who we are. We were very out of character in the first half, and some of that had to do with how well Memphis played and the way they landed the first punch and multiple punches after that. So credit to them. But I just thought our response in a game that doesn't feel attainable in certain parts of it, our response was great.
Chet and J-Dub still just in their 3rd NBA season. For them to be as efficient and, use the term efficient and impactful, both those guys were those things tonight. What did you see from them as they're still even accruing these experiences?
Yeah, Dub, got it going early and had it going in the first 2 games. Chet, I give a lot of credit to because I think he had 1 point at halftime. He had a very, very quiet, subdued first half, and then the mental toughness to stay in it and deliver the way that he did early in the second half, and then through that 3rd quarter and into the 4th, he had that huge 3 late, was really.
Anh dám cho nó khó lắm, người ta nhiệt tình thế này chứ mình. Đóng cửa nha. Số 2 xấu tính mà thôi lại cũng được. 2 đâu, số 2 xấu chặt tay. Cô xấu tí rồi.
Xin chào tất cả mọi người, quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục với các bạn làm vòng sẽ có tiêu đề là thùng rác.
Sạch rửa tạo là gì nhỉ?
Đúng đây là cái
vâng. Đúng không? Này,
em có thì em đã ăn rồi.
em phải cho cặp cái đấy, lúc nào cặp cho mình dùng.
Đặt to. Em lấy cái chiều cô anh. kìa. Không còn đâu, hết rồi, hết giờ rồi. Đừng có đừng có em đừng đi nữa. Trời, cái này bỏ nó. Kia mẹ mà ăn kia. Để trọng lên rồi á.
Về điện.
Mẹ đưa cái đồng ăn gì đây bữa bạc kìa.
Đi ra bỏ cái tiền sơn đâu.
Không.
Tôi cậu không thèm tiền của mày đâu. Đây tiền mà đẹp. Đây tiền muốn lấy ra rồi.
Xem video này cũng video này khai hỏi
Có cái này
mua được nhiều thế. Cái đấy có nhiều video không? Nhiều thế không phải chỉ nữa.
Đấy chị hai
đố này phải được chị hai.
đây được
Yêu nhà.
Mày đã con này đố được cái chị hai này.
thôi nhỉ trước bốn phút mới lên được trăm
Nó mới lên được trăm mới đấy.
từng kiểu thế là bỏ rồi hai cái bài mình nghe này
Giá 10 là gì một khổ.
Thằng Phong nó là của
Rồi vậy thở mày rồi.
thằng chó như vậy nó không biết giả sạc mình ấy. Đem rút sạc thôi.
mua
Gì?
40%.
Tao ít hơn, tao có 20 này.
Ở đây có ai ít hơn làm vua.
Sạc của tao phải được làm vua chứ không phải là
Cô là cái tháng gì?
ai đi gửi nhất làm chó. Đúng không?
Cái gì?
Ở đây không chị bảo đánh đồng ở đây.
Anh ơi,
Đánh đồng ở đây đây.